I'm working on this Ford Scoop. I wasn't sure. It looks oversized for this tractor, and I wasn't sure. Although I had this logo, but it's hard to read that. I don't know. I think it's easier to read it on the camera than it is in person. And plus, it's yellow, or it was yellow at one time. But anyway, I did enough Google searching. After a while, I found it. One of the distinct features of this particular loader is the oil's in here. And incidentally, the one thing I was looking at too is how does it get, okay, the guy, when I bought it, the guy told me that was a reservoir, but then I got to thinking, well, how does it get over there? And so the return is here. It looks like a handle, but this is the return from the, after the levers do their work, it returns here and it goes in, it goes into this leg. So then it flows, I guess, across this leg, across there, across here, this beam, I guess you probably should call it a beam, and then into the reservoir here. And they want it full, they want it filled up to here, so they want all this. I assume there's over here, I assume there's a stop here. Somewhere probably here, I guess. So they want all this filled with oil. And it turns out to be 10 gallons, which actually it looks like, it seems like it'd be more than 10 gallons by the time you fill all of this up and this to about here. But anyway, there was a radiator hose connecting here, and I took it off, and it just, some gushed out, but then, so I thought, well, it's done, but it just kept a stream. It filled a 5-gallon bucket, and now this much more. And I got to thinking, I bet there's a filter in here. And when I looked it up, then I found, yeah, there's a filter. So I'm going to take this off. We'll see what the filter looks like. I expect it to be clogged. Also, I was checking on, the oils seems pretty oily and not necessarily have water in it. It doesn't seem to have water in it like the tranny did. And the gearbox did have a lot of water in it. But, so what I was going to say is, so I was thinking, well, maybe I should reuse the oil. And maybe I should. But they say, you know, when I do some searching, they want you to change it. Actually, the owner's manual says, I think, every 600 hours. So, you know, rather than have the thing fail, it works pretty good. But you got a pump right here. You know, and this, rather than have that fail and have me have to work on it, change the oil. And I have changed the filter for sure, so. And then I was going to show you too, I'm changing these hoses. See, I already did this hose and this hose, right? One hose was already done. I think, oh gosh, I think it was this one with that. I just hurt myself. Hit that bucket. Somebody else did this one, and then I'm going to do this one. See how it's not flexible? It's kind of petrified. And I'm going to have to cut it because there's no swivel joint here, and it seems like this is put on backwards. But I've been just reusing them as is because I bought male hoses, all male hoses. I did this hose, and see, I just reused this. And then I put this one on new, and there's the swivel there. I was going to do these two, but I think I'm not now because they're relatively flexible. Plus, you really don't have to drain. You know, if I want to do these later, I really don't have to drain the whole system to do those. So, this hose here would probably be the best candidate, really, to redo, but it's such a big hose, I'm reluctant to redo it at this time. And another thing, these hoses are so tough, really. That it seems unlikely they'll fail, really. This filter was incredibly dirty. Look at that gunk and crud. I got my hands all in it too, because when I went to take the filter out, it was so long I had to lower it into the bucket. I didn't want to drop it. See how long it is, full length of the bucket. And then I just went in there and scooped that crud out. Now I need containers for that, and I don't have them at the moment. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Then I'm going to have to wash that well, you have to get it out of there and figure out how to replace it. But one thing's for sure, it was time. I'll burn all these papers. If I burn the crud in that bucket, I hope I can replace that filter, buy another one. Otherwise I might have to clean it with gasoline. And that part with the rod, I'll definitely have to clean that with gasoline. And then burn the gasoline. And then here's all what I took out of it. And Walmart isn't going to want it. They'll take it, I guess, but they don't want it. I'll have to do it in at least 2 trips. They won't take it. They don't want it all at once. I wish we had a better way of dealing with this stuff. There should be something for farmers, I think. I wouldn't mind paying a little bit if they would be, kind of take it happily, take it all at once. I'm working on the tractor hydraulics. I could not get they don't make the filter anymore. So I decided I'd make a exterior filter, spin-on modern. So I spent a lot of money on it, and I bought stuff from all different places. And this part I'm going to show you all the different things I bought to make it, and before I start to actually assemble it. So the first key was this. This was the biggest I could find. It's 1.25 NPT, which is, and the existing is 1.5 ID. So this here is an inch ID. It goes into the filter. So I think this was about 30-40 bucks. The filter is enormous, this thing. I wanted to get a big, well, I had 2 things. One is I had to get something that would fit this, and also I wanted it not to restrict flow. So I got 25 micron, which is relatively coarse, and it's enormous. So I'm hoping it'll flow since it's suction. Generally, I think what they usually use this for is the return side. So it's not suction, it's not full pressure, but it's the pressure from the return. This thing here I think was $26. And these was like the most expensive. These here was $33 a piece, but I didn't know where else I was going to find. I thought about doing it myself, like machining it, if I just got a nipple, 1.25. Actually, I did look for 1.25 nipples and didn't find any. Would have had to grind it down. I was actually thinking I'd have to build it up, but this is 1.5 MPT, 1.25 MPT, 1.5 barbed. So, and it ends up oddly, I think ends up oddly being about the same throughput, which is fine. But I just spent a lot of money on this, that's all. But this is what I wanted, so. And then this is the hose. This was $10 a foot for this hose, which isn't too bad, I guess. I got 2 foot of it. I shouldn't need 2 foot. But now the trick's going to be, since this thing is so enormous, is going to be finding a place to... Oh, there's one other trick. I'd like to install it sideways. I wanted to install it like this way on the tractor, but would be this way, inlet down and outlet up, and this outlet would go to the hydraulic pump. But the problem is air would get trapped in this filter. If I could install it this way, see, air wouldn't get trapped because it would go through here and out. But this would be backwards. It might still work. There's a bypass in here that if there really gets to be a lot of pressure, the bypass will let it go without going through the filter. But I probably could get away with installing it backwards, really. But I'm going to try to install it this way, which is the way it's really supposed to be installed, I think. But it's so enormous, if you put this together, the thing is just gigantic. And so it's going to be a little hard to find the space. Look at how that thing is. But anyway, so we'll see if I don't know if it's, and the other thing is, I don't know if it's even going to be successful. But it seems like, I mean, the filter that was in there, I got to be careful with this, it'll shut itself off. So the filter that was in there was suction side filter. I think I've shown it to you already. And so I figure, now it had a bypass that I think operated quite a lot. It didn't have a very strong spring on it. And I think it operated because the filter was so corroded, I don't even think it could filter anything anymore. I don't mean corroded, clogged. So from that point of view, it seems like it should work. I'm afraid the spring in this thing is so tight on that bypass, I'm afraid it's not going to open. But I don't know. This is what you're up against, you know, when you try to kind of re-engineer something, shall we call it. I'm ready to install this piece back without the filter because I'm doing a different thing for the filter, which I've already told you about. I made a gasket, which there wasn't even a gasket when I took it out, but a lot of guys you would just used tube paste gasket, but and I probably will put some tube paste gasket on it, RTV or something, but that's the kind of guy I am. And the other thing is, but I haven't done yet, is I gotta reach up in there. There's still a lot of goop in there, and ideally I would get it completely clean, but that's what I'm not going to do. I'm just going to get as much goop as I can get out with a dry towel, and that's it. So I probably could have used this stuff instead of the gasket. I've smeared it on the other side, underside, but I guess I'm going to leave this top dry. In theory, I never take this apart, but then that's what a theory is. It's a theory. So I'll leave this dry, and then if it leaks, it'll only leak on this side. And I don't know. I wouldn't. It's hydraulic oil is one thing that bothers me. I just feel like it can, but there's no pressure on it, so I don't know. I think I'm going to leave this dry. Oh, incidentally, there was There was a gasket in there. I had to clean the surface and found it. I need to clean them bolts a little bit. Now I'm going to try to bend this wire that I cut off of a cattle panel to fit the shape I want to run the pipe under there, put the filter there. I've been working on the tractor and having this, installing this filter, you know. I had this pipe bent. This is muffler pipe. I had it bent. I was going to show you the wire, except I can't find it at this moment, because first you make a wire. But anyway, I'm making it here. Oh, this is the wrong one. Where's the wire? Here it is. So I need to go from here to here. And so at first I got some lightweight wire and made a quick bend and see how it worked. And then I got this heavy wire so that it's not going to fall or, you know, bend on its own. So it goes like this. It looks like I might still need to give it a tweak. It looks a little bit, see, it goes. And this hose, I'll have to check that again. But at any rate, that's how you do it. Make this wire, and then he'll bend that pipe to fit this wire, and then I'll use this radiator hose to connect it. Except it's not radiator hose, it's real hydraulic hose, and I'm not going to be able to find it. I just saw it was laying on the ground. It might be down in the basement because I've been cutting it with an abrasive blade. It's got steel in it. See, this is what they had on it, and it seeps. I think it's just radiator hose, and it seeps, the oil seeps through it. So I got real hydraulic hose, but it's made for pressure. It's potentially can handle 200 pounds of pressure, and it's pretty stiff, and you can't cut it. Like I say, I tried to cut it with a hacksaw, and it just wouldn't even. So I've been using this abrasive. So I'm telling you, I hope this works. I don't know if you'll ever see this video if it don't work, because I'll probably kill myself. There's this radiator hose, or it's hydraulic hose, I mean. See, it's got steel in it. And it's not very flexible. It's not very flexible at all. But it will take up, it'll splice, and it'll splice with a little bit of forgiveness. So that's what I'm doing. If I can get that pipe bent tomorrow, I might be able to fill that hydraulic. Let's see, tomorrow's Tuesday, Wednesday, except we're looking at rain, but anyway, fill it and then move that tractor out of there. The muffler shop couldn't bend that pipe according to the wire that I made. They couldn't make that tight of bends in that space. So I ordered something from Amazon. It's exactly what I want, what I need. Took a couple days to come in. It's a little bit expensive. It's stainless. I think it was $17 a piece, but I got to get this done. And normally I don't like to work in a hurry, but I think I have everything I need to get this done. I'm going to try and do it because there's going to be a party here. I got my hand over this, doesn't matter. In a couple days, and I need to get that tractor moved. In fact, exactly 2 days. Today's Thursday. They got Friday, and then Saturday afternoon is going to be a party about 48 hours from now. And I got other stuff to do. But anyway, I'm going to try and get this done right now. I think I've got everything I need. So I think I got it. I got to get my radiator clamps on it and get some. I'm gonna lift it with. I'll put a strap here, and you know, these had 2-inch legs. I had to cut them here. I didn't have enough space, and I cut that one. When you cut it with an abrasive blade, be sure and clean it out afterwards. Clean the burrs off with a round file on the inside. Now I'm going to replace this. This is a final hose I'm going to replace right now. It's petrified. See, this one's been replaced. This one, no. So I'm gonna, I don't know how I'm gonna replace this one. I got this for here, but I'm gonna try and reuse this one, I guess, because I don't see if I got a part for it. And it kind of seems like it's on backwards anyway, but I should be able to screw this on here, tighten it down, and then put this one on here, and then I'll have this one has a swivel tightener. I don't know how they got, well, this one was a swivel tightener here, I think, at one time. I'm not, but I think it's, but anyway. I'm going to use a abrasive blade to cut it with. Because I used a hacksaw before, and it takes a long time to get through it with the hacksaw. This abrasive blade will cut right through it. It's going to make a little dirt, but now hopefully the dirt won't travel into the system. But even if it does, now I've got a filter, so it'll filter it out. Got to figure out a place to put this camera. This thing works good for I have double air plugs, because that thing's loud, and then this mesh helps to keep, stuff flies through it, but I feel like it's not as dangerous when it flies through it. That is so much faster than the hacksaw, the power hacksaw, the Sawzall. It just took a couple of minutes, and I had to wiggle it and everything else. Oil's running out. Go ahead and put this on. Could put pipe dope in it, but I don't think it's really going to make any difference. It's got to be tightened so much. It's beyond pipe dope, I think. Where I this much, but I gotta go one more time at least. Oh, everything leaks so much. There, that's as much as I'm gonna go. Now this one, this is gonna give me no trouble. Sometimes, now this one does have pipe door. See, this is, I think this is out of backwards. Oh shit, it's still leak too. Well, anyway, at least any dirt's coming back out. I guess I'll put some pipe dope on it, I don't know. See, this one actually is a compression seating. It's starting to rain. Getting tight. That'll do it. This end, this is a swivel and it pitches against here. I really shouldn't need anything. Just lubricated, I guess. Really, too, I don't think you need to drain the whole system when you do this. See, this one's squeezed up against them. That's about it. I should have showed you real close what that one looked like. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. It's got that. It's kind of like a plumbing. It's kind of like those hoses in plumbing. So it does work, which is a great relief. Although I didn't. I thought it should work, but you know, you don't really for sure know. I wasn't sure about bleeding the air, but I bled in air until oil came out here. And I've only got 8 gallons in. It's supposed to have 10 plus. I got this now. This is additional. There's got to be half a gallon in that at least. And I got it marked down here. It's filled up to this high. So it's really none too high, but it works. And I guess the only problem would be if I'm tilted or if I raise these up too high and fill it, it might run out of oil. about a month sitting here. I'm really not gonna overdo it. I still have, there's one other thing I have to do too is, these can really slip out because they don't have a barb. This has a barb, it won't come out. But I'm going to tie this to this with a strap or a wire. And I'm going to tie this one to this one. And I'm going to tie this one to this one. And this one, I have to wrap a wire around this cup, I guess. I still need to do that, but I think I'm going to wrap up this video. And we have a party. I've got to get this tractor out of the way so we can have the party. So I put my straps on, so I'm calling it completely done. See, the strap is fastened here. It's going to hold all these, primarily this connection and this connection, from slipping out. Tied there to the corner. This strap is tied here to hold these two together. There's a strap going right there, holding these two in, and then I've got a wire here which isn't very tight, going around holding this one. I need to put a spring or something on that wire and tighten it up. But right now, I'm going to go out and try and mow some weeds down with my sycamore. Bad boy.